Did today's witness testimony put a nail in the coffin of the Commonwealths case? Day 26 of Karen Read's trial wrapped up on Tuesday. Hi, my name is Sydney Rushing. I'm a criminal defense attorney in the state of Michigan. Now let's talk about it. The defense filed a motion for a missing witness argument. This was for Proctor, Brian Higgins, and Brian Albert. Basically what they're asking the judge to say is that the jury is allowed to infer that the testimony that these officers or that these witnesses would have given would have been harmful to the Commonwealth's case. Witness number 3, Dr. Russell was back on the stand and Brennan continued his cross-examination. She confirmed that her opinions have not changed. She said that Alessi told her on the car ride to court that morning to ask for a transcript if she needed one, and Brennan made a big deal out of this, and it's super petty, and I don't think that it's important at all. She made it clear that they did not talk about substance of her testimony or of the case in any shape or form. She was asked a million times over and over about her opinion on these injuries, and she kept saying that each of these individual spots, Brennan had marked out 6 different spots on John's arm, and she said each of these individually would not denote a dog bite, or she wouldn't be able to tell up front. However, when you look at the pattern recognition of these wounds in kind of like groups, she said that is where she's able to tell that these are dog bites. Brennan made a big deal about her saying before that it was teeth, and now she's saying canine teeth. What? Like, come on. Let's focus on the stuff that actually matters. She agreed that there was an absence of wound on his underside of his arm. However, she said that the bottom jaw doesn't always come up into contact. A lot of times it's just the top jaw. So she said that this was not unusual. Then Brennan brings up DNA and all hell breaks loose. Alessi very passionately and strongly argued for a mistrial with prejudice. This is because the Commonwealth did not bring anybody up in their case in chief to talk about DNA, so the defense has been very meticulous to also not talk about DNA. I believe that this was a very sound motion. However, as we know, Judge Cannoni denied the motion, but she said that it's preserved for appeal. Brennan's question about no dog DNA being found on John's clothing continued, and Dr. Russell said that she was aware of that fact. There was pig DNA that was found. However, they never found the source of it. And my question is, did Chloe like to chew pig ears like as a treat? Just a question. Russell said that that information made her reconsider, but ultimately did not change her opinion. He said that this comes into fact now is, was the testing not done right? Did they not do this? Did they not do that? That's the things that she started thinking of. She said that she doesn't believe that John was hit by a vehicle because the fragments in the shirt that they found were not caused the pattern of the injury that she saw. On redirect, Alessi had her testify that the size of the fragments of the taillight that were in John's clothing were 1/16 of an inch. She said that she did not believe that these caused the injury due to their size and the way that the pattern showed, they would have had to have been facing a certain direction. So it just didn't line up. She was very firm in the fact that this is not even a close call. Then lunch was called. After lunch, Dr. Russell testified about John's legs and how they were thoroughly examined. She said that basically they cut from the buttock all the way down to the ankle, opened the skin, and that there was no injuries found. On recross, Brennan again went for her credibility and her ability to give opinions in this case. He had her confirm that she's not an accident reconstructionist. She said as an ER doc, she usually doesn't have the information about when people are hit with a vehicle, what way their body was aimed, what the speed the vehicle was going or anything like that. She's just gets to treat the person as they come in, and that's how her opinions come forward. And then she was done. And let's be very clear here. Brennan made a big deal about her not having a dog bite expert certificate or going to this seminar, and she doesn't have to have that to be deemed an expert. Judge Cannoni already ruled that she was an expert based on her experience. Experience can also make you an expert. Then witness number 4, Nicholas Barros, was called to the stand. He's a sergeant with the Dighton Police Department. On direct, Jackson asked him about his career, his experience, and his personal ties to Canton Police Department, Proctor, Massachusetts State Police. He said he was called in to help the Massachusetts State Police on January 29th with the basically setting up the towing of Karen Read's vehicle. He noted that the taillight was damaged and that there was a crack that was missing. He then was shown a picture of the taillight that's already in evidence, and he said that is not how the taillight looked when he saw it. That what he saw was basically like a 6-inch section that was about 2 to 3 inches wide missing, and this shows a much bigger missing section. On cross-examination, Brennan had him confirm that he didn't see anybody touch or manipulate the taillight. He was asked about his report and how he only put one line regarding the damage to the taillight in it, and that he didn't talk about the size of the damage in the report. He was asked about his previous testimony and not noting any of the changes between what he saw and what the photo showed, but he said, I know what I saw and that's not it. And he was asked about his memory and whether he could be mistaken. Brennan has a thing for asking people about their memory, even though a lot of his witnesses couldn't remember shit. Then Barros was released from the stand and jurors were sent home for the day. Judge Cannoni said that there were a few motions that were filed, but she hadn't had an opportunity to read them yet. She did have questions about one of them for Yannetti, so she called a sidebar, and then next thing you know, court's over. So day 26 is wrapped up and in the books. Testimony will continue on Wednesday, and it'll only be a half day of testimony. Thank you for being here, and thank you for following along. The question of the day is, do you think that Sargent Barros' testimony really hurt the prosecution's case, or do you think that it's okay? Let me know in the comments.